Okay, this is a bit in the evening where we're going to have a bit of an interview. So come my two gophers, who we've just seen, bring up the... We thought of getting a couch up on the stage, but we thought, why not bring two chairs from the Crops Lounge? Okay, so some of you have seen these before. They were recovered before, oh no, many years ago. Thank you. And this is an interview, it's a bit like Parkinson, but we're both younger. Well, I am anyway. I'm so
Matt, I have to share, I've probably shared this before, most of you know this, that I was Matt's form tutor when he entered secondary school. None of you can believe that I'm that old, I'm sure. Didn't look this old until he was my form, in my form. And that was actually probably 1989, more or less, 1988.
Wow, yes.
1989, so that is more or less when Crops started. So a lot's been happening, Matt, at Crops over the last few years. And can you share with us some of the milestones, the key points, the sort of turning points or key things that have happened for us?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of... There's lots I could say in terms of, you know, the kind of the growth we've seen and the different things which we've been running with and how they've kind of gone to maximum capacity and all that kind of stuff, and you know, it's really great. But I think there have been a few key factors which have really helped us in that, and kind of, as you say, milestones. The first one, I think, which has been really, really important, I think is when Dave Roberts and I kind of landed at Crops in 2005, that kind of time, was the kind of the development of the 3 R's vision. Put your hand up if you don't know the 3 R's vision, as in what those 3 R's stand for. Okay. For those of you who don't know, there's a roll-up banner out there which says it down the side. Basically, reach, release, resource. And what we kind of set this vision out in terms of what we felt the work was about, but also where we wanted to go, and as almost something which would help define and shape what we're about, what we would decide that we would do and what we wouldn't do, but also it helped us to see how the different kind of components and elements of the Crops work actually fitted together, you know, not just, you know, having Bretton Hall out there and this out here, but actually they all kind of play a part together in this one kind of picture of the vision, and also spurring us on in a way to go. So that's one thing. Another big thing, as I suppose a milestone, is kind of the focused work in schools has been really key for us. An example of that would be what we've done with Project 567, which we started in January, where we decided that we would focus just on years 5 and 6 of the primary kind of age, and bring almost the 2 halves of the Crops schools work together, and sort of join them up a little bit more, so kind of to focus different things like that. But also, I guess we've had a kind of, or we've taken a kind of regular presence approach into how we've kind of worked with the schools. And that's opened up further doors in schools where Crops had been working before, or if there's been new situations where we've been able to break new ground into new schools, whether they're brand new schools or schools which we haven't worked in for a while. So that kind of intentionality about why and how we do things in terms of the schools work has been really helpful. And sort of that willing to kind of experiment. Currently, the way we're doing that is, I've been shadowing Ron Watkinson in Longville with the kind of mentoring side of things. So, yeah, it's that kind of focus has been really helpful. I think the other key, 3-point sermon here really, is the kind of the networks and the influence which we've been able to have as a trust. And really developing networks locally through how we work with church youth workers, and kind of just building that sense of a wider team beyond our own doors. has been really key. Also things like across the city with Hope 08 and Hope for Peterborough, which has come from that. We've played a real part in that, and again, I think certainly on a youth front, we've kind of trailblazed this kind of city vision for young people. Actually what we've got going in Peterborough, I think, amongst the churches, and certainly in terms of youth work, is unique and a very special relationship, which other people are now starting to look at what's going on here and say, wow, we want a piece of that, we want to learn from what you guys are doing. And that's, again, that's not just a kind of Crops thing, that's a credit to all the guys and girls who are part of that team, part of that network. So that's been a big key for us as well.
Thanks very much. At the first Crops celebration that may have happened 20 years ago, I would have been there as a fairly new school teacher, thankful for the work of Crops in supporting Christian Union at Jack Hunt, and having been a member of the Letton Hall house party team, I think probably. You might have been there.
You probably did in worship or something like that.
Yeah, well, even that. And you would have been there maybe as a member of that CU. In 20 years' time, frightening thought, what do you think Crops might look like, and what do you think we might be celebrating?
Ooh, good question. 20 years' time, I suppose you may be drawing your pension. I'll be approaching my 40th birthday. First,
you make it sound very alluring, actually, that pension bit, but never mind.
Yeah, no, seriously. I think the kind of things that we will be celebrating, you know, in one sense, obviously we don't have a crystal ball here and sort of looking into the future, but you know, I would hope that we can kind of see, you know, with the vision that we've got, where we'd like to be, and I guess building on the foundation of what we're doing now in schools, the profile that we have amongst the churches, across the churches, the connections that we have with young people, and also actually the unique role that we play in the city. I think we will be resourcing and working with local schools and local churches and local young people in a major way. And
well, I mean, you and I have talked about our vision is to ensure there's a Christian impact on every primary school and secondary school in the city.
Exactly. And I think, in one sense, we won't recognise how things look, hopefully. I think we'll have the same ethos, hopefully the same heart and vision. It won't just be centred around this, you know, one or two workers, you know, and I kind of see different threads, really. The first one will be a kind of, hopefully, maybe, if God willing, a kind of a two-pronged approach to what we're doing in schools. So kind of, we'll have the kind of the Christian workers, kind of chaplains, you know, challenging thinking, raising questions, helping students to examine the core beliefs of Christianity, supporting Christian young people in schools, but also, and that's the kind of the reach, I would hope that we would have a restore prong in there, in what we're doing in schools, in that kind of like, you know, the justice, the whole person, that kind of restorative ministry to young people, almost like the youth work approach, you know, kind of Christian people going in to bring change in the immediate needs of young people's lives, whether they're struggling with self-esteem or kind of anger issues or whatever it is, the kind of stuff which needs to be sorted out, which so often makes them fall out of the system. I believe we can play a part in that. So that would be one kind of thread. The other, as I mentioned, is about being a major resource to the churches, and beyond what we just provide in terms of Letton and the point and things like that, but actually kind of mentoring and managing maybe a network of kind of training youth workers, Christian youth workers across the city, especially in churches where there just is not the resources to employ full-timers. And we've kind of started to do that a little bit, but that could explode and be really exciting. And maybe also offering a kind of consultative approach to churches in terms of with the wisdom and experience that we've had as a trust, helping to shape strategically youth ministry in the local church.